Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Burchell Sweeney, and on behalf of Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge, we'd like to welcome you today to the rollout of VBR Sports. You may wonder why I'm up here tasked with emceeing this event. I've had a 30-year career in the hospitality business, working for AMI, the Krish family, Marriott, and the Caribbean. And now I have a golf business, managing events for golf tournaments and corporations throughout the Southeast. So I'm well aware of the importance of tourism and the economic impact that it brings to the valley. Visit Virginia Blue Ridge put their faith in me, and I'm excited to be here with you today because we're all part of the same team. We'd like to thank the Countryside Sportsplex for offering to be our host today. It's the perfect backdrop for this announcement, and by the end of this press conference, we think you'll find and realize why sports tourism is so important to this region. Thank you, Rita, for leading the charge.
Folks, let me tell you, together we have now achieved the 8th consecutive record year of growth in tourism in Virginia's Blue Ridge. Is that not something to get excited about? $813 million generated by all of you, working very, very hard as a team. Over 8,000, about 8,000 of us are employed full-time in the tourism industry just here in Virginia's Blue Ridge. And so, yes, tourism is alive and well and really growing. Sports tourism is a major part of what we are as an industry. For a fact, what has made this so possible is in working together is there are two people here that I'm going to embarrass them a little bit and ask them to stand up. John Shaner and Carrie Harvey Cutter, stand up for us and come right up here. I'll tell you, these two guys, we would not be here today without John and Carrie working themselves to no ends just for our behalf. And I'll tell you, 86 NCAA championships, countless numbers of ASA tournaments, and we would not be here today at the level that we are today without these two gentlemen. So please help me give them a round of applause. And I will tell you, when it comes to sports tourism and sports in general, you will not find a better champion, in my opinion, than Mayor Sherman Lee. And I would like to ask this man right here, I just love him, to just stand up and let's all give him a round of applause for what he's done with CIAA and constantly pushing sports tourism. I'll tell you, it makes all the difference in the world when I know I can pick up the phone and call the mayor of Roanoke, and he's going to be there to make things happen for us, and I just so much appreciate that. So we're up in our game, folks, and we've got a brand new VBR Sports Council. We have a new director of sports development that's been with us just a few months, and you're going to be hearing from her just in just a few minutes. But I will tell you, we're so happy with what's been achieved thus far. Did you know last year, in 2017, our community hosted 189 sports tournaments and events? 189. And we got rave reviews. I mean, our hoteliers rode out the red carpet. They know how to treat these folks. Our attractions, so many folks they know how to treat our sporting events and manage sporting events and take care of our customers. And we just thank you all so much for what you do. I will tell you, our next special guest is here, and because of her work and her team's work, we will be able to achieve those goals. We are so privileged today to have with us Rita McClenny, who's the President and CEO of Virginia Tourism Corporation. Also, we have Joni Johnson. Joni, where are you? Joni, there you are. Joni, stand up. Joni's in charge of, she's our national sales manager for domestic sales for VTC, and we appreciate her as well. Katie, I'm going to raise your hand. Katie represents VTC here as well. Rita, we so much appreciate everything that you and Virginia Tourism does for our state, and your team does a great job. And it's my privilege to invite you to the podium and say a few words. Thank you so much.
At Virginia Tourism, we see the benefit of sports. Sports Virginia has been in existence for about 10 years. And we have many convention and visitors bureaus, chambers, sports directors, planners, hoteliers, people who are involved in the foreground and the background to recruit individual youth sports and group sports to the Commonwealth. We know it means revenue to the local coffers. We know it means increasing and enhancing the quality of life for your citizens. That's what tourism does. Tourism changes communities. The travel industry is an industry, and we are a wonderful, needed, and absolute necessity complement to economic development. We are economic development. For those who are developing new products, building, capital investment, infrastructure, all of that is a part of the travel industry. When families travel for sports, it is a family effort. The entire spectrum, from grandparents to the children, the extended family, many times all come in to take part in the sporting outing. And I know everyone in the audience has been a part of that in travel ball, and travel sports. And the thing that families do, not only involved in the initial reason for their travel, for the sporting activity, but they also will go and take in the other sites and activities that people love to do while they're on vacation. They're all going to do some shopping, they're all going to go out and eat, and yes, sometimes we know they go to the grocery store and they do it their own way, but they're going to purchase fuel, they're going to want to seek out some music, and they many times will get into the art scene. But the thing about it is, it's a way of exposing the region to people who may not have otherwise visited. So you're opening yourself up for a new audience. I reported yesterday to the Senate Finance Committee. For those of you who don't know, the General Assembly is in session in Richmond. And for every dollar that Virginia Tourism invests in our marketing, the visitor spends $210. So that is a great return on investment, a great return. And Landon and your team and the board, congratulations on your years of success. Going up, we don't see any stopping you. It is onward and upward for tourism in Virginia's Blue Ridge. Yes.
Thank you, Rita and Joni and Katie. Thank you again for all your statewide support, and all of Virginia Tourism Corporation for the support you provide us every day. My name is Alex Michaels. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Services for Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge. I was fortunate to get here about 2 years ago and to this beautiful region. And I quickly identified that, the tremendous success and history of sports in this area, so I wasn't a fool. I decided that this is where I need to look at. When I started to run reports, I said, oh my goodness, we have 69% of our group business coming from this market segment. So it didn't take too much thought to realize that at that point I wanted to pivot our direction and put it in the direction of sports, when it means would focus on budgets and recruiting more sports tourism to the area. Our keynote speaker today can agree with this shift, and he has the knowledge of the area and supports the decision of having completed a feasibility study here recently. It is my privilege to introduce Don Schumacher today. He has more than 35 years experience in the sports travel industry. He has helped found and was the executive director of the Greater Cincinnati Sports and Events Commission and National Association of Sports Commissioners, serving the latter of the 25 years in that role. He has managed and operated stadiums, arenas. He has made major bids and produced major sporting events and consulted over 200 sports commissions, cities, countries, and destinations. Just last year, he was elected to the inaugural class of the National Association of Sports Commissions Hall of Fame. So please help me welcome Don Schumacher, the president of DSA Sports LLC and former executive director of NASC.
One of the key factors in sport tourism are the relationships that are established over time between the people that represent a destination and the people who own the events. Because, folks, there's a lot of competition out there. We started the National Association of Sports Commissions back in 1992. There were 15 destinations that came together, and very frankly, we decided to create a formal way to talk to each other because we found out at the time that the event owners were dividing us and conquering us. They'd see one thing to Cincinnati, another thing to Baltimore, another thing to Chicago, and see if they couldn't get the ante to raise as a result of not thinking we would talk to each other. So we really got together to gossip. And so 15 cities started gossiping about the business. Today, the NASC has somewhere north of 850 members. That gives you a little bit of an idea of how the industry has grown, how much more competitive it is, and at the same time, how much remaining importance stays with relationships. Because people don't deal in sports often with people they don't know and trust. Knowing and trusting someone is entrusting the success of an event with them. I can tell you of communities in this part of the country. I'll be in one in a couple of days. I'm kind of doing a little bit of tour of NASC members, it turned out. When I learned I was going to be here, I decided to make a couple stops on the way home. But there's a destination over in Kingsport, Tennessee, for example. And Carrie and John know the folks over there. In Kingsport, if the AAU wants to do an event and they decide Kingsport is the choice, they basically, a year ahead of time, send them the bid book. And that's about it until the event takes place. That's the kind of confidence that people begin to place in the hosts for these events. I wish it was as simple as making sales calls and making the sale and not having to deliver. But in truth, as we say in our business, there are two things we say in our business. When the sale is made, the work begins. And for some destinations, what happens is when the sale is made, they say, oh my God, they said yes. Now what are we going to do? Can we do this? I'm teaching a course at Ohio University this winter, and one of the things I told the class last week is a bid is a promise to perform. A bid is a promise to perform. You've got a reputation as people who execute. You don't just bid, you execute the event. And I'm excited for you. Because this market, I fully expect to hear in April, for 2017 has grown past the $11.5 billion mark in direct visitor spending, not economic impact, which has multipliers attached to it. These are the new dollars that are coming into the community, and the members of the NASC help us estimate that number every year by filling out a questionnaire that Ohio University, as it turns out, compiles. And I fully expect that it'll be $11.5 billion, and that's amateur sports events, folks, that can move from city to city. And it doesn't include college sports, doesn't include high school regular season, doesn't include any professional sports. It's amateur sports that can move. $11.5 billion. That's a lot of money. But never lose sight of the fact that the overall travel and tourism industry and the trade show and convention and meetings industry is infinitely larger than that. So never take your eye off the big ball, which here I am, a sports person, and I'm encouraging you all to realize this is a wonderful niche market in the overall tool bag that you've got here in the Valley. And it's going to be more and more productive for you over the years as your other attention to your other core businesses continues to grow. It's economic development through visitor spending. And every one of those dollars that are spent in any one of the communities that you represent is a sales transaction that is taxed. And that tax revenue goes to the municipality or the county or the state, or is divided up in whatever fashion that's been established to provide more services for the residents that live in the area. So one of the things about tourism that's so important is the fact that everybody benefits from tourism, not just the hotels, the restaurants, the venues, so on and so forth. Everybody benefits, because the more taxes that are paid, the more services that can be provided to the people who live there. It's also a facilities-driven business. You either have the facilities or you don't. So you don't worry about what you don't have, you worry about what you do have. And that takes a couple of forms. You need to know what you have and which age groups. You also need to know what condition they're in. And not only will you always be looking for opportunities to modify and improve facilities or build new ones, you'll be looking for ways to better serve the quality of life for people that live here through those same facilities, because the primary users are not going to be visitors. They're going to be the people that live here. And that's one of the metrics that is used to determine whether a facility ought to be built. So, we've heard that these are trips that are mini vacations for families, and they are. We've heard from both myself and Rita that this is a business that is sustainable, and it has been found to be so. But as you embark on this new effort, always remember, this is all about people. Sounds in this crazy world we live in today like I've lost my mind. But in sport, one of the beauties, folks, is the R and the D has nothing to do with it. It's all about people. And it's about the experiences those people have when they come to Virginia's Blue Ridge. That's what this is all about. I congratulate you on your efforts. I look forward to hearing great things from you in the future, and for lots of experience, lots of opportunities to come back and see you again in the future. Thanks very much.
Today we're pleased to announce that the Roanoke Star is going to be affiliated with VBR Sports and VBR, and we're going to change our name to VBR Star, and I think Danny's going to put the logo in there. We think it's very important that we affiliate. They'll help us bring more people in here, and we can spread the word out while we're traveling around the state in our league play and everything like that. We think it'll be a great partnership and really look forward to it, and exciting times for us. Thank you.
I know we've heard a lot about the mission of VBR Sports already, and I'll highlight a few touch points for you as well. So the mission is to enhance the quality of life and economy of Virginia's Blue Ridge as a region by being the leader in promoting and hosting youth, amateur, collegiate, and professional sporting events. This combination opens the door to bidding on diverse sports opportunities, and this builds on our reputation to successfully host championships and tournaments started by the City of Salem and brand VBR Sports as a premier sports destination nationally. VBR Sports will focus on maximizing exposure for all sports facilities within our region. I heard many folks say this morning that they did not know this complex existed and that this was their first time up to the space. So I'm happy that we were able to expose this facility for you locally. So that's our goal, to expose other facilities as well. We have launched VBRsports.com, which I encourage you to go and visit the website. We have listed currently 37 facilities that we've identified as places to host sporting events. That number is growing and developing, and we are open to opportunities for more facilities to be listed. VBR has a winning combination of state-of-the-art facilities and venues, and it comes with the expertise and service provided by the team at Virginia's Blue Ridge, with our local partners, and with our sports council. We have a lot of expertise sitting on this council, and I'm so happy to be a part of their team and hear their voices and serve all of the facilities within our entire region. Thank you.
As a community recreation club participating in sports here in Roanoke through the recreation department, as well as sometimes participating in what goes on in Salem, and some of our teams participating in Salem, Roanoke County, Botetourt County. It's been a pleasure to see this facility grow out of that. We have had hard times, and we've had times that we just say, maybe not. But most of us have had children come through the program, and we understand what the importance of it. We understand what kids can get out of it, how we involve ourselves in such a way that we're working with the next leaders of the community. And sports has an impact on them, both morally as well as mentally, and also gives them an idea of what society is about by playing some of the sports, and you work it into your own little societies. I want to also thank individuals who allowed us to get this building built. Richard Wright, I don't know if he's here, he was the architect for the facility. But also I want to mention the bank that worked with us. We have a gentleman here by the name of Marcus Wade. Marcus, would you stand up? As you can see, this is a young man, but when we were running around talking to banks and trying to get our facility financed to work with, we went to just about every bank here. Marcus listened to what we had to say and worked with us with the Bank of Botetourt. And without their persistence to keep moving forward and adjust to the different things that we had to do, we would not have been able to be here. Another key point was the city of Roanoke. When we've been approaching them since the time Darlene Bertram was here, they've never said no with a stamp. They've said no with an eraser, so that we could be able to move forward a little bit each time. We finally got to the point where council members, a gentleman by the name of Chris Moore and another gentleman named by Steve Bashur, sort of saw what we were talking about and worked with us and to be able to purchase this building and renovate it. And believe me, when I say work with us, there was a lot of things that happened that made it difficult to do it. But we also had another partner, which was working with us in the initial package presented to the city. That was the Roanoke Star soccer program. We collaborated together with the assistance of Steve Bashur to come up with a complex that would offer a variety of activities in sports. The building offers a variety of sports that are multi-purpose use. We offer soccer, we offer volleyball, we offer basketball, we offer handball, we offer wrestling, we offer pickleball, cheerleading, dancing, aerobics, and handball. All of these are things that we find that are important to the community, not only the youth, but the adult as well. We have a facility that offers practices as well as competition. It also has community activities involved in it. And we find that by organizing this and having this facility here, it allows us to also reach out some of the underprivileged children in the community so that they can have a facility by participating in the various sports programs. Our program, as I said, offers the sports that are presented by Parks and Recreation, the City's Park and Recreation. We also participate in AAU programs. And we have tournaments here. We use not only our facilities, but other city facilities. We bring in sometimes anywhere from 60 to maybe 80 different teams on a weekend coming through here. Sometimes it's one day, sometimes it's Saturday and Sundays. And Saturdays and Sundays, I understand, are really, really good for tourism. It really helps the hotels and motels around here, and hopefully it helps keep my tax dollars down sometimes too. But it's also important for us to be able to represent the Roanoke Valley, and it helps us when initiatives that Virginia Blue Ridge are having to toot those type of activities and what is being done, not only here, but around this region. Not only what we're doing, but trying to reach out into the other facilities. I think that's important. I think it's important to be able to say we work with Salem or we work with Roanoke County. I think it's important to be able to bring those communities into the possibility of working with what we're trying to do. I'll close with saying that this initiative has a great impact on Countryside Sportsplex. We're not through developing what we want here. There are additional phases, additional expansions that are going to happen in the future to come. We do plan on expanding. We do plan on providing a facility that would allow us to have much more to offer. We're talking to organizations and have been talking to organizations about the possibility of working together jointly. Specifically, one would be Apple Ridge. We've had conversations, and they've had conversations throughout this whole process with the possibility of trying to do things for the community. There are other organizations that we have been touching base with that hopefully we'll be able to work out a way that we can provide things for the youth of the city of Roanoke, as well surrounding, that these organizations reach out and touch, that allow us to have a better facility to improve and assist our young folks to be better citizens and leaders for the future. Thank you very much.
Charles, thank you. Facilities like this one will enhance our ability to attract more diverse sports. Kudos to you, Charles, and the board for seeing the sports tourism growth potential. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you all on behalf of Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge for being here today. Thank our speakers for their message and their support for VBR Sports. We've got a bright future here in the Blue Ridge area for more sports tourism and Virginia's Blue Ridge, resulting in a greater economic impact. Our speakers and the VBR staff will be available for interviews and questions at the conclusion. At this point, I'd like to thank you all for being here, and you all have a good day.
The announcement of Virginia's Blue Ridge Sports is a great announcement for Virginia's Blue Ridge. It will bring amateur sports, youth sports to the region, and it's a great way to collaborate with the partners who are part of the network.
The families are not coming just to a city. They're coming to experience the Blue Ridge. And they'll now know that there is a very coordinated and well-funded effort to make their visit successful.
Sports tourism in Virginia is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we know that in a lot of communities, sports tourism is 50% of the revenue that they generate. So sports overall is growing in Virginia. We have Sports Virginia, and we have a network of convention and visitors bureaus, chambers, and establishments, rec centers, sports complexes who are part of that. And it's been in existence for over 10 years. So they work together as a team and collaborate on marketing, going to trade events, going on missions and sales opportunities to bring in more amateur sports. And Blue Ridge will be a part of that.
Now there's going to be more people involved, more resources brought to bear, and hopefully that'll also result in better maintenance of sports facilities and maybe some new ones.
Well, the word's going to get out that Virginia's Blue Ridge Sports is in existence, and the complex and network of parks and sports facilities where they can stage soccer games, volleyball, cheerleading competitions, you name it. They will be able to host it here in Virginia's Blue Ridge. So it's a great way for marketing and creating an awareness of Virginia's Blue Ridge. You have a wonderful airport here. Amtrak is serviced in Roanoke. So with 81, Amtrak, and an airport, you can't lose. Your gorgeous Blue Ridge, your mountains, and it's easily accessible. The transportation network is very vibrant. And there's so much to do. You go downtown, you go in the surrounding area, and this is, after all, Star City.